What up, Dokkanners? We had a global Dokkan producers letter video that dropped on social media about a couple hours, I think, after the video had been broadcast on the Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour segment for Dokkan and Legends. So this video, just letting you know right now, this is a rehash of the full synchro video that I dropped yesterday. So if you guys have already seen that, you already know what's going to be discussed in this one, but I just wanted to go into a little bit further detail as far as what was covered in this, because I normally do videos on the producer's letter video, but now that we have the, the actual good copy, figured let's just do it here. So Omatsu talks about the upcoming full synchro and really just boils it down to two announcements. Number one, global first content is coming before full synchro, because there would not be global first once the two versions are on the same schedule. So this is very obviously going to be something that drops between now and summer of 2024, which is when they said the full synchro should be taking place. As far as I'm concerned, that means worldwide download 2024. This is around the end of summer, in the middle of summer, whatever you want to call it. This is the best and most logical place for both versions to once again come together and now permanently stay joint. There is no reason to call the Autumn Dokkan Festival full synchro. There is no reason to call pre-worldwide download full synchro, although this is probably where we could be seeing all the Dokkan festivals, which we'll talk about in a second. This just makes the most sense. So that being said, everything before August, middle, late August, that is where global first content could occur. Now, as far as what that is, they have labeled this as in-game events, and they've listed all of these. Now, all of these includes EZAs and a banner. Now, the banner dropped back in 2020, and that was pretty crazy considering how good the unit was back on that release. In my personal opinion, I don't think a banner is necessary at this point. I think global has enough content to catch up on that having another banner is just going to add to the clutter. Because while we are all very happy about all of the stuff that's coming up, let's not forget, we are going to have to go through an insane catch-up process in order to do that. Now, for those of you who are budgetary players, it doesn't really matter because you're probably not going to be summoning for units like Gohan Piccolo, maybe even Super Saiyan 3 Goku Rudogarn at this point, because now that we've seen what the 9-year anniversary units can do, what we're going to see beyond that, these units might seem a bit more trivial to you. Tournament of Power 17-18. So with these units being skippable, if they all show up on one banner, that will probably make you want to summon. So if you add that on top of a global first, that's only going to make things worse for you. So that's the main reason why I don't think we need another summon. We've got enough on our plate, but I guess it is possible. They don't explicitly say summons or EZAs. They say in-game events. A banner is an event, right? It is a summoning event. It is a moment in the celebration where you get to do something Dokkan related. So as far as I'm concerned, this is an open-ended term that could apply for any of these things. I personally think it's going to be an EZA or maybe multiple EZAs, but it could be a scenario where it's one of each. Maybe it's a banner, maybe it's also an EZA. I think EZAs are going to be better. And also, if it is going to be a banner, it is definitely going to be a legendary summon. It is not going to be a Dokkan Festival, because a Dokkan Festival banner means a full-on celebration. You have to have subsequent Dokkan events that apply to it. Now that we have reached the point where we are going to be receiving support medals for every Dokkan Festival that drops, starting with the Android 17-18. This was the first Dokkan Festival that JP received post worldwide download last year. So from here on out, every single Dokkan Festival banner that drops, we will be getting missions that gives us some of the medals needed to awaken that Dokkan Festival unit. So we would have to get missions, we would have to get events, we would have to get extra content, all for one banner. I think that's too much work for one global first. So having it just be a legendary summon would be easier. So that's why it's going to be probably at most this. But as far as the EZAs are concerned, I think we could potentially have LR Broly be the global first EZA. This would actually be pretty fitting, as this is now currently the oldest LR to date that doesn't have an EZA in Dokkan in general. Obviously, global is still behind, so we are missing some LR EZAs. But as far as just Dokkan battle as a whole, this is now the oldest LR that doesn't have an EZA. And this was also a global first. This unit released as the part 2 to the Go Bros, I believe, back in 2019. We can actually look that up. Let's go and check it out. 4-year, what was it, March 2019. So if we go to March, was it this one? Imminent Crisis? That was cooler. And then we had, oh man, oh wait, wrong one, my bad. I'm stupid. All right, it was in here, right? In here, it was Bardock, and then March 19th. Oh, God, bruh. Why am I so blind? This one? All right, I'm about to give up because I don't want to keep looking. It's too much work. I give up. Whatever. Global got it first, okay? Just trust me. Global got it first. If you don't believe me, let's do this. Why didn't I just do that? Look, July 2019. Man, I do the stupidest things sometimes. Global got it in March. JP got it in July. So Global got it early. Global first. What if we get a Global first EZA? Finally, you know? GoBros dropped first on Global. JP got the EZA first. Autonomous Ultra Instinct dropped on Global first. JP got the EZA. Funny enough, Bardock returned, not Bardock, Broly returned on JP before it returned on Global. And I distinctly remember Tiger Uppercut Media losing his mind over that. So I think this would be a great way to give Global a first, a W, maybe throw in another EZA or two, but it really just depends on what they decide to do with it. But I just want to make sure that that's clear. I don't think it's going to be a full-on celebration. They even said, I cannot reveal what they'll be yet. So it is definitely going to be multiple elements, multiple things. What that is, place your bets down below. It's not going to be Tanabata. I'll just rip that band-aid off right now. We'll reveal more details through in-game announcements, all social media, blah, 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 blah. Okay, moving on to the next thing. Second bit of news, the unification of JP and Global. We informed you in December that we are preparing for it. I honestly think they announced it and they said, okay, guys, what do we do? I really feel like that's all it is. I don't think that it was anything more complex than that. I think we gave them too much credit on that behalf. We being me, like me, I gave them too much credit. Today we have an update for that. So they announced that it is going to be around, oh, not yet. It is going to do character availability schedule unification, event availability unification, and more. I don't think this really needed to be said, but you know, they're trying to be thorough. They're trying to be absolute. And so they are very explicitly showing you what is going to be unified for those of you who are unaware. Because some of you may not be watching, you know, other content creator stuff or seeing the speculation videos. You might just be reading this for the first time. So unit releases, event releases, and more. I don't really know what the and more could be other than login stuff or simultaneous social media stuff. I don't really know. I think the one thing that Global will not get from JP will be how top grossing gets handed out and how JP gets these like occasional mail-in rewards based on how many tickets you aggregate in some event or something like that. Those two things I think will remain a JP exclusive. And then of course, like certain voices that can't be licensed on the Global side, like Dragon Ball Heroes, those types of things will remain JP. Everything else will remain on Global. So if you want to say, you know, it's still not fully in sync, here's my counter to that. Global doesn't get Heroes voices. Global gets Elof's Trove tickets. JP gets like those mail-in reward things and extra voices for Dragon Ball Heroes. So it kind of evens out. I think that's what the and more stuff will be. And then around summer 2024. So around, I think is very important to reiterate here. They are not 100% sure. So I think it makes the most sense for it to be worldwide download. But if it happens to be sooner, well, so be it. If this is the full synchro celebration, I mean, so I said that Global's catch-up banner would make the most sense going here. So let's actually go in that direction first. The reason why I think that this works is because in between 9-year and worldwide, this is no man's land for Global. This is the banner, this is the celebration that everybody has to stay away from, because for Global players, it is pretty nasty to have deal with two massive celebrations back to back. This does put a lot of stress on people's wallets, more so Dolphins and higher, but budget players too, free-to-play players, you know, they have to decide how much they're going to be spending on each celebration. Thankfully, each celebration gives you about 1,000 plus stones, so you're essentially covered in terms of doing those summons. But if you want to do more, you have to factor in the next major celebration that is coming up, which is essentially a month away. So the most devious thing that these guys could do, and I'm talking strictly from like a Bandai Namco businessman perspective, would be to make the worldwide download Dokkan Festival the ultimate trap banner of all time. Picture this. Right now on Global, we are about to jump into Tournament of Power 17-18. JP is now in 9-year anniversary. So that will be paid off when Global gets the 9-year anniversary, part 1 and part 2. So we don't have to worry about that. When we then get to the next celebration afterwards, JP will have had one new Dokkan Festival post 9-year. That is this one, pre-Sand Day. Then we go into Sand Day. JP doesn't get any sort of extra stuff. So right now, JP is one Dokkan Festival ahead of Global in terms of like extra things, right? Then Global is going to go into the Super Saiyan 3 Goku Hirudegarn Dual Dokkan Festival. JP will get another Dokkan Festival. So now JP is up by 2. Go into part 2. JP will get some legendary summon. Global will probably get a filler banner. So now it is 3 celebrations up, 3 banners up. Global has, or JP is up 2 Dokkan festivals and 1 legendary summon. This, by the way, could be a great spot to throw something global first in. Golden Week, we jump back together, so nothing is given to JP only. Then we go to pre-9-year Dokkan Festival. That is yet another Dokkan Festival. So that's 3 Dokkan Festivals and 2 legendary summons. That's a lot of stuff that still is on the table after Global catches up to the stuff that we're already behind on. So what they could do is they could give us all of the Dokkan Festivals that we otherwise... Oh, you know what? There's one more. When we start 9-year, JP will be in Tanabata. So actually, that's 4 Dokkan Festivals and 3 legendary summons. So how would this work for Global? This is the way I envision it. That would probably have the least resistance. Throw all Dokkan Festivals on this. Free worldwide download Dokkan Festival. That's Tanabata and the 3 other Dokkan Festivals that I showed before, right? We don't know what they are. So put all 4 of those Dokkan Festivals into this banner and then have the part 2, all the legendary summons, all go on some sort of carnival banner, maybe right here. Which is, again, horrible for global players to have to deal with, but that's what it's going to be. It's going to be something like that, where they just give it all at once, and it's no questions asked. So I think that probably works the best. And then once global gets through this, as we're dying and our wallets have exploded, we will jump into full synchro, never again being left behind. That's how I see this playing out. Does it make sense? To me, it does, given, you know, how insane Dokkan is and how they like to be fast and loose with the word logic. They could maybe even mitigate some of the disaster in this part 2. This is just screaming for something. This is a global filler banner that year after year means nothing to people. There is no reason to summon on this banner. They could throw some of the legendary summons in there. We could even get the LR Broly EZA right here. Like, that was my theory, right? If Broly were to get that EZA, then this part 2 could just be a Broly banner. What if Broly has something to do with Tanabata? Maybe Broly is the global first, and so JP will have that during the part 2 of our 9-year anniversary when they're in Tanabata part 2, and Broly is brought back for the first time on JP for that EZA. I don't know. I'm just babbling at this point. Anyway, I just wanted to give my thoughts on all of this a little bit further. There will be more speculations as more announcements come in. We will be getting more announcements soon. Don't forget also Saiyan Day was when we got one of these EZAs back in 2021. All 3 of these Great Ape EZAs happened during Saiyan Day. So as early as March, we could maybe get some updates on potential full synchro stuff or global first content. So whenever we get more news, I will make videos on it because look, global's trying to catch up. So until then, we're probably going to have to cover some of the same topics. And then also Amatsu proceeded to talk about the Carnival Battle Hour banner. We talked about this before. It's a decent banner. It all just depends on your individual circumstances. So go check out that video. And that pretty much wraps up the Global Producers Letter video. That's it. I have rambled long enough. Hopefully you guys are not dead of boredom. Don't worry though, hype is coming up very, very soon. Tournament of Power 17-18, baby. You know what? Physical Goku Vegeta Blue might be getting an EZA during JP's 9-year anniversary. Maybe even Krillin too. So I'm just saying, Universe 7 might be on the rise sooner than we think. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like down below. Let me know in the comments your thoughts, your theories, your wild imagination as far as how full synchro is going to shape up. Do you think that it is anything more? I don't know. Is there anything more to read into how Amatsu produced or brought in the mention of more global in-game events? Is it going to be a banner? Is it going to be an EZA? Is it going to be something else entirely? Let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments down below if you watch this far. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you ladies know when to see more of my stuff. Do it! Thanks again. Stay tuned and remember to Dokkan responsibly.